Great to be here. We're going to introduce today by learning about what's called the 4 types of people who guard. There's 4 categories of guarding in the Torah. And as we begin this is going to be an introduction before we get into the question and answers. And we're very, very excited. For anybody who joins us, please share where you are around the world. So let's go into the 4 types of guarding in the Torah. So the first type of guarding is somebody who guards something for free. Somebody guards something for free. Thank you very much. I'm in the shahakal. If somebody guards something for free, so let's say something happens to the item. Somebody says, yo bro, you watch my Tesla for me? And then let's say something happens to it. He says, sure, I'll guard it for you. I'm Mr. Come on in. For you? No, you don't have to pay me. He says, I'll guard it for free. So the Torah says he's patur if anything happens to it. If anything happens to that guy's Tesla, because I'm watching it for free, he's going to be exempt from any payment. The opposite, though, is somebody says, yo, can I borrow your Tesla? I'm not going to pay you for it. I just want to borrow your Tesla. So he has to pay if anything happens to it. Okay, so we have 2 categories. Category number 1, somebody who borrows something. Somebody who lent, so he said, just will you watch this for me? It's category number 1. Watch my Tesla. He says, no problem. If anything happens, the one who's watching the Tesla does not have to pay. The other extreme is somebody who is borrowing the Tesla, not paying for it. He has to pay if anything happens. Even things out of his control, like wild bandits or lightning bolts coming from the heavens. Okay, then there's 2 more categories. There's what's called a shomer sachar. Shomer sachar means, I'll watch your Tesla, but you gotta pay me for it. I'll watch your Tesla, but you gotta pay me for it. Or what's called a soicher, which means, can I rent your Tesla, please? I'll pay you money. So those 2 people are obligated if it gets stolen or gets lost. But they're not obligated if what? Lightning bolts and the lions and tigers and bears, oh my. Okay, what are the 4 categories? I know this is technical halachic discussion right now. What are the 4 categories of people who watch things? Shomer chinam, which is what? Yo, I'm going out of town. Can you just watch my Tesla for me? You got it, no problem.
Borrowing a Tesla. Yeah, can I borrow a Tesla for a drive?
Okay, and then he has to pay for what?
For everything.
Pay for everything. Category number 3.
You got the shomer's car, so you're like, hey, I'll pay you like $5 if you watch my Tesla for me.
Okay, and he's like, fine, I'll watch him get paid.
$5, I assume.
Okay, whatever it is.
Well,
but he's getting paid for his time to watch his Tesla.
Right.
And the guy who rents a Tesla, I see you have 4 Teslas, can I rent one from you?
The big difference is someone who's getting paid like minimum wage just for his time to watch a Tesla versus someone who's like an expert.
Is that called the shomer sachar?
Versus like an expert security, like...
Looks like he's still called the shomer sachar. He's still in the category of watching.
Or like someone who's like, no, just paid for my tiny feet up so that I could watch your like Tesla for you.
So...
I'm pretty sure I wiggle, I'm just curious.
Okay, it appears that they're both called the shomer sachar. So, look what Rav Moshe says. Why are there these different categories? Why are there these different categories? He says it all depends on how much a person is connected all the way to the seichel hakoilo. He's connected to oneness consciousness, and how much love that he feels. Because where does protection come from? It comes from God. Where does Shemira come from? Real protection. Something has protection to the degree that it's connected all the way up at source. Only when things come down into this world do things start to become dangerous. But if I'm connected all the way back, it means that I'm a very, very loving, open person. To the degree that I'm connected all the way back in that place of love, there will be the power of shmira. There'll be the power of protection. So look what the Rebbe says. So he says here, "Ki hashomer chinam eina mechuyev rak lishmor adavar koroi b'li pshia." Somebody who says, "I'll watch your Tesla. You don't have to pay me." The only thing that he has to do is just make sure that he's not like totally out to lunch. But anything that happens, meaning it's stolen, for sure lightning bolts, that's fine. Why? Because if something happens while the Tesla was by me, that I'm guarding it, we say that this damage is not because of the guy who was watching it. Because you know what? Let's call him Reuven. Shimon says, Reuven, you watch my Tesla. Reuven's like, no problem. Essentially saying, Reuven's saying, Shimon, your Tesla, your money is dear to me. I want to watch it for you. I feel a love between us that I want to make sure that your money is taken care of. I don't even need to be paid for it. That there's a big love on behalf of the person who's watching the item that he says, I don't even need to be paid for this. Because of that, he goes all the way up. Rak mitzad ava v'rei shel chaver. The reason why I'm watching is because I love you. I love you. Yeah, Joe?
It's Pirkei Avos, right?
That's right, exactly. And he brings from Pirkei Avos here.
Is that Perek Gimel? Perek Dalet?
You're close, Perek Beis. Yehi momen chavercha chavev alecha k'shaloch. That your fellow's money should be as precious to you as your own money. Which means Shimon's Tesla is precious to me. I want to make sure that I watch it even if I'm not getting paid. Nimtza shemitzido ein shum hezer. Ma'acha shebezeh shmira ki mitzvahs, because by me doing the shmira, what mitzvah am I performing? By me watching his Tesla, ve'ahavta l'recha kamocha. I'm doing the mitzvah of loving a fellow. If I'm in the zone of mitzvahs, so now a certain spiritual energy rests upon me that if any damage happens, it wasn't because of my doing. Because I'm in the state of mitzvah, I'm in the state of protection. Ki shamar mamon chavera b'li sacha rak me'ava levad. I just love you, Shimon, I just want to watch your Tesla. And therefore, he goes to what's called the supernal consciousness, where all things are fixed, and therefore he's not going to be chayiv in any of the nezek. Now watch this. What about the opposite? Who's the guy that's really in it for himself? The Shoel. The Shoel says, yo, Shimon, can I take your Tesla? I'm not even going to pay you for it. I just want it. So he's really in it for himself. He's in it for himself. So has he entered a place of Ve'ahat l'recha kamocha? No, he's just like, I just could use a Tesla. So he's in that place, and therefore the Shoel hasn't risen the rank. So he doesn't have the same protection. What about the Shomer Sachar and the Soicher? Somewhere in the middle. They basically go into an agreement together that I'll foot some of the responsibility, you'll foot some of the responsibility. We're each gaining something from it. So because of that, each one has a little bit of Ava. No one's getting the full end of the deal. And therefore, Hashem said we're going to split it. But what do you see coming out of this? Rav Noson's explaining is that spiritual protection comes from the degree that we go up to the Seichel HaKoilo, which is Emunis Chachamim, which is Ve'ahat l'recha kamocha. Okay? So, in summary, what did we say? Around the world, some people share where you're writing from. Always a pleasure. To share where you're from, please ask questions. But what do we see so far? We see that there's 4 types of liability, of real liability in Torah law. And the liability really all depends on how much love I have for my fellow. And the deep of this is how much love I have for my fellow, and thereby how much am I going to the highest states of consciousness where all protection comes from. So nice seeing Nick Matthew from India. Always a pleasure. Thank you for being with us. Zevi Zone, I hope that you do not have the panic attacks that you're speaking about.
Nick has a question. From what I learned, only Judah and Benjamin, along with the Levites, are the only ones left.
So, Nick, what you're speaking about is that we have 12 tribes. The nation of Israel has 12 tribes. And the 12 tribes of Israel, 10 of them are, so to speak, what they call lost. We're looking for the other tribes, and if you've seen them, we'd love to have them come back. And we are, yes, on a mission to find the lost tribes. Part of the returning of the lost tribes is a very strong sign that Mashiach is coming. Oh, Shalom from London. So yes, as Mashiach is getting close, we're going to see the ingathering of the tribes of the world returning and coming back. Bezrat Hashem. So what do we see here? We see that Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, this is the essence. Is that in order to the whole world, the more that we love our fellow, and what happens when you love somebody? When you love somebody, you start becoming wrapped up in them. The borders start becoming less solid between you. So to the degree that we're having love for our fellow, that love takes us to a higher place of what's called the Seichel HaKoilo. And that Seichel HaKoilo is a place where all protection comes from. Because Hashem is the great Shomer. Hinei lo yanum v'lo yishan Shomer Yisrael. Hashem is the ultimate Shomer. Please, Chevra, you can always share where I always find from Serbia. That's so nice. Chevra, right now, in Serbia, a pleasure that we know that Torah is going out to the four corners of the globe. Ki metzion teitze Torah dvar Hashem Yerushalayim. Someone's writing about Rabbi. Generally, Ahmad, we say that a person who receives smicha would call a Rav. A Rav is somebody that, it's interesting, Rav, you ever think about that? A Rav means like a lot, a majority. And we hope that the Rav represents a majority, that he's someone who's here to speak and share with Rav, with a lot. Maybe you could also suggest that the big Rabbanim, the big Rav, the people that are big rabbis, they're the, Harav, they have inside them all the souls. Like King David had all the souls inside of him. He was called the ultimate Rav, the ultimate rabbi, because he had all of the souls. He was what's called an neshama kolelis, a soul that included all the souls. And those that have souls like that are able to unify many people. And that's a big thing, to be able to unify, to be a neshama kolelis. That it's interesting, Mashiach, one of the qualities of Mashiach is he's going to be accepted by everybody. Where do we seem to see that in the Torah, that there was somebody that was accepted by everybody? That everybody thought, like, that person is ours. Like, we feel that they're connected to us. We see it explicitly in Megillas Esther. Who was the one that everybody felt was like...
Oh, it says
that Esther, everybody said, that all the Persians said, oh, Esther, oh, she's Persian. That we ever saw. And all the nations of the world felt that Esther was like their girl. Like, my girl. She's our girl. They all felt that Esther was like, she was the one that we relate to.
It's not just the Jews that accepted her, it's
the whole world thought, because Esther was like this mystery woman.
so for Mashiach, like not just Jews will accept her.
Which is interesting, because Mashiach is going to be accepted by everyone. So what I think it's going to be is Mashiach is going to come. And the breast lovers are going to say, he is such a breast lover. And I think the Reformed Jews are going to say, he's so progressive. He's like the best Reformed rabbi we ever saw ever. And the conservatives are going to say, he's such a perfect blend of, conservative and modern day thinking. And all the academics, he's just such an academic Mashiach. And the Chabadniks are going to say, well, nobody knows Chabad Torah like Mashiach. He is such a Chabadnik. And the Sephardim are all going to say, this is the greatest Sephardi rabbi we ever heard. Chacham. And the Litvak's going to say, we never saw a Rosh Hashiva like who can learn Lumdis like Mashiach. That Mashiach is the ultimate neshama koilelis, that he's going to include all the souls are going to feel connected to Mashiach. Yeah, thank you, Nick Matthew, for pointing out that you did not know this about Mashiach. That is a very important thing. Rabbi Hunter Stern, as far as Hashem being the great Shomer, would you mind teaching us about the Magen Avraham? So we say at the end of the first bracha of Shemona Esrei, Baruch Ato Hashem Magen. We say Elokei Avram, the God of Abraham, Elokei Yitzchak, Elokei Yaakov. Why don't we end Shemona Esrei, the first bracha, by saying Baruch Ato Hashem Magen Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov? What's with Magen Avraham? So the Gemara says is that even though that Hashem, you are the God that came revealed into the world through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, each in their own ways, the end of the story, the end of the story, which means the end before Mashiach comes, humanity will be sealed through the kindness of Avram. That Avram taught us that if I could be a Mogen Avram, if I could guard and have a seal of kindness, that we're going to bring Mashiach through unbelievable acts of kindness and overwhelming love for humanity. Just like Avram Avinu, he opened his tent on all four corners and just loved human beings. And he had discussions with everybody, pagans, everybody. Come into Zegi Avram's tent, we'll make a nice Chassidish Verbrengen, we'll eat some nice, whatever. Kishka, Cholent, whatever was going on there. Hamin. And we're going to speak about God. So, B'cha Chaisman, the Mogen Avraham. But maybe what Mr. Stern is referring to is that Mogen Avraham also means that inside of me there's a place which is the shield of Abraham, which is my soul. That in the end of days I'm going to have to know that there's a place that's guarded. That is guarded, that no matter what happens to me, no matter what kind of contamination comes into the world, there's a shield called